You are listening to the Audio Missile Podcast.
And we're back. Audio Missile Podcast is back again with Cordell and our guest Stella.
Here we are again.
Okay, 2020 has been a crazy year. There's been pandemics and all kinds of crap, protests everywhere, hurricanes and whatnot. But speaking of protests, this week, a 17-year-old kid named Kyle Rittenhouse, he's from Illinois, who considers himself a militia member, has been charged as an adult with 1 count each of intentional homicide and reckless homicide for the August 25 shooting. He is also being charged with an attempted intentional homicide for the shooting of a third man. Okay, what do you think about this, Cordell?
First of all, it's very complicated because more videos are rolling in as we speak from all the local businesses, cell phones, cameramen.
First off, let me tell you guys, all this is fresh and things could change because this is what's currently known right now. And new stuff can come out throughout the tomorrow or in the next 3 days and things could change. But this is what we know
As of now.
Right. Yes, sir.
I don't know nothing as of now, but I'm listening.
But what's not complicated is that people have lost their lives over ideological reasons, you know, for protesting, for protecting property, for the police. A lot of mixed up reasons here.
So what is it that he died over? Like, what happened?
All right. It started off as a gentleman, Jacob Blake, was shot over a domestic incident. He was actually trying to break up a fight. And then the police responded, shot him. That led to protests. Within these protests, a group of militiamen came out to protect the business. And they had machine guns and fancy army weapons. And there was a 17-year-old kid there. You know, he can't buy that weapon. How did he get there? His mom drove him there. Just to be the devil's advocate, mind you, there is people having their businesses destroyed and burned down, and I can understand if somebody wants to stand in front of their store, you know, and try to protect it. But these were militiamen that had
They just wanted to instigate.
they're trying to instigate.
Stuff.
Okay. And
you're talking.
And it happened. It did happen. They got what they wanted.
A live stream posted by the Rundown Live shows Rittenhouse talking to the police earlier while standing in front of the store. Let's talk about that for a moment.
Sure,
okay?
sure.
Rittenhouse tells there's a reporter that walks up to him, there's recording, and he tells the reporter, people are getting injured and our job is to protect this business. So is he an employee? Why is he at this particular business?
You know, well, he considered himself an employee. That was his job. He said he had EMT training, and he actually worked as a lifeguard in Illinois. And he had cadet training with the local police department there. So what he was doing was protecting a local business there, and he was interviewed several times by several people. And then so the instigators, things started acting up, and it led to people shooting each other.
You can see videos of
And a
him
loss of
throughout the
life.
night. There's even a video of police
And this
giving
was
him water.
Okay,
Well,
and this
no.
was in Illinois, right? You said
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Kenosha.
You're right.
Illinois.
He's from Illinois.
Which is
drove
about
Did he drive? Oh wow, he did. His mother is part of
what's her name, Cordell?
Wendy.
Wendy.
What do we know about Wendy?
She drove him across state lines with an assault rifle. 17-year-old kid who shouldn't have a gun.
She shares the same values. There's pictures of her
Look,
with assault rifles.
Even though
So she
it's
molded
crazy,
him into-
but she is the one that should be in hand.
Well, just so you know, change.org has a petition to have her arrested for child endangerment and for provoking. So let's take a twist on this story. So earlier in the evening, the police actually confront the kid. They pull up, but they give him water and say, hey, you're doing a really good job. We'd like to thank you. We appreciate the job you guys are doing out
We
here tonight.
appreciate you guys to say.
Yeah, on the megaphone from their tank SWAT looking militarized vehicle there.
Their Humvee type.
Wait,
vehicle.
who? Them?
The police.
Oh, the police were
walk
thanking
up to
them.
him, and these kid and the people he's with ask the police for water, and the police open up the hatch because they have like this military type vehicle, and they give him some water, and they say, we appreciate you guys, and then they drive off. Okay.
Yeah.
This business they're in front of, who owns this business, or what's the story there, Cordell?
Well, It's a car auto body mechanics service there, Car Doctor LLC, and the gentleman who runs it happens to have another job as well, which is Tactical Private Patrol Response Police, which is a local company there in Kenosha, and he's been there for 8 years.
So this guy that said the business has a tactical private police company.
No, he doesn't own the company he works for, but that's where the militia was staging.
So they were-
so it was a cover up.
So they were using this mechanic shop to stage out of these security people.
Sure.
Okay?
Yes, sir. And at that point,
That explains why the police were so friendly with them. And
when they
giving them
pulled
water
up and offered him water and said, we
Yeah.
appreciate what you guys are doing out here.
That makes sense.
But there is an element of what they're doing, which is protecting property, regardless of their ideological beliefs, blah, blah, blah.
Well, they didn't know, obviously, right? The cops that what was
No,
going
the
down.
cops didn't know because
Okay, and that's how they were so determined to like protect their business.
Well,
'cause
here's the
it
thing: most of the
scares.
police officers agree with this white nationalist agenda.
Of course, so they'll probably even knew it too, and they're like, "All right, you guys
Well,
got
because
this. We're gone."
earlier in the day, they had asked Beth, which is the sheriff there, to deputize the militia. They called the police department and said, "Hey, will you deputize us?" So
As
we'll have
in,
the
like
right-
for the night.
So they
Yep,
wanted to
yep.
be legally being able to walk around
Yeah.
with their guns, deputized as police officers.
Yeah, and he said, "No, I don't need any more guns on the street." But his own people were okay with it. And now we'll fast forward to the end of the night when, after the kid is involved in the shooting and is walking away with his hands up, he walks towards those same vehicles that recognize him from earlier, and he says, "Hey, something's happened." He has his hands up. One car drives by him. Second SWAT unit drives by him. Third SWAT unit drives by him. People are yelling, "Hey, he just murdered somebody!"
6 vehicles, police vehicles, drove by him. I counted.
Oh yeah, and they go after the regular people. "Hey, get back!" And for him, they're like, "Oh, hey, is everything okay?"
So as
And
he
he's the
goes
one
by,
that had just shot people.
he's walking with his hands up
Sure.
in the air because he just shot up a couple people. The people are running behind him saying, "He's the one that shot the people. He's the one that shot the people." And the police are like, get back," like they always do. And he manages to walk past 6 police cars with an assault rifle and still go home and sleep in his own bed.
Yeah, his mom drove him home.
His mom drove him
tucked
there
in.
and drove him back home. The same mom.
Oh, who did he shoot?
3 people.
That were what, trying to get into his business?
Well, we don't know the details exactly. They're coming out, but apparently, from what we know, they all have criminal records. Even the kid.
Oh yeah, there's much more to the story.
Elaborate a
Well,
little bit on that.
obviously,
Okay,
there
so-
is a tactic for that.
Wait. So let me make a disclaimer here. Some of their past has nothing to do with what they were doing at the protest.
Yes,
So-
it has nothing to do with them getting killed. We're just saying what they're gonna say in court.
but some of their past does have something to do with at the protest. So you have to be able to discern and look at things and say, okay, that applies and that doesn't apply.
Yeah, we're just looking at the whole story all as a whole.
And so
a whole.
one of the gentlemen has at least 8 domestic charges for suffocation.
And
battery.
this 17-year-old is
No, this ain't the 17-year-old. These are the 3.
the people that were with
three
him.
individuals that were shot.
The victims. Okay,
Yeah, the
okay.
victims.
Yeah.
Okay.
3 victims here. And a couple of them had weapons as well.
Yeah, there's pictures where you can see people had guns in their hands in some of the pictures, but they're wearing masks for the COVID-19, so you really can't tell who it is.
So that seems to me like it happened the way it was supposed to.
Yeah, there's much more to the story.
Always.
The kid was 17 years
I mean,
old.
it didn't obviously
He
because
shouldn't have an assault rifle to begin with.
Yeah, he wasn't allowed to.
Okay, the mom drove him there. These other people showed up, and I guess they were all at the right place at the right time for shit to go wrong.
Now let me make one thing clear. A regular protester is there for a passionate reason, for a cause, and they might not have weapons with them.
no,
And
of
in
course
their
not.
past
Especially
shouldn't be of influence on the situation.
Well, I went to protest North Dakota, and I didn't take any weapons. I just took I took a stitch kit and stuff to keep me alive.
So-
in case I got shot by the police or something.
So it is ironic that the guy who got shot, the paramedic, had a weapon, and the kid was going around saying he was an EMT paramedic who did the shooting. So it's 2 paramedics with weapons, or 2 medics with weapons, you could say. So it sort of started what people are saying over a trash fire. They lit a trash fire, and young Kyle went over there and said, "Hey, put this shit out," and started flexing on them, and they flexed back.
Sounds about right.
And then shit went down. because they weren't expecting that the guys in the auto body shop were private patrol tactical militia with AR-15s, and Kyle wasn't expecting that these skateboarders had weapons and felony charges and did prison time. So everyone was ready for this duel at the OK Corral.
Oh, wow.
Everybody met up there at the right place at the right time, and shit went down. But
It seems like they knew shit was going
well, I go back to
down.
the kid's mom should be in handcuffs because she enabled this kid to get into this situation because she drove across state lines from Illinois to Wisconsin to drop him and waited for him. She wears camouflage and guns, and she taught him that
Well,
shit.
she molded him into that,
Yes,
So
and that's my point.
And sadly, that's like a lot of parents.
Out here in California, if you don't go to school, your kid doesn't go to school, the parents are liable, and they take the parents to jail.
So what happened
I mean?
was he got bullied at school. And so she went to the police department there in Illinois and asked to have a restraining order put out on a student. And then they ended up dropping that, taking him out of school and enrolling him in a cadet program there. And he would tag along with the police officers. And that's when he started getting into the AR-15s and the Blue Lives Matter, and he ramped it up. And mom was also part of that.
Well, the mom's the one that bought him the AR-15 because he can't buy one. He's 17.
You
Yeah,
probably
Someone had to buy the weapon.
Well, let's add something more to the story here. The way they heard about this event was on a Facebook event page. And that Facebook page got flagged at least 200 to 300 times to be shut down. And Facebook didn't shut it down. Even Mark Zuckerberg apologized over it.
Yes, that's news today. Zuckerberg came out today and apologized. He said that was a Facebook failure, that they weren't able to.
What,
take
they
down.
recorded the whole thing?
No, they put in an event on Facebook to show up. And then that's why they showed up with guns. But people were reporting it.
Oh, so they put them in danger in a way.
Yes.
So what happened was Facebook let them put a map, a time, directions, and where to go to this event to bring your guns. And it told everybody, hey, bring your guns. And even RSVP. They had over 3,000 people RSVP'd and said, hey, we're
with
down to
their
come
guns.
out. And then by the time they removed it, everyone knew the right place and the right time to show up.
Yeah, Zuckerberg apologized for that today, so he really dropped the ball. You have to actually be on it because Facebook has become the voice of a new generation. And if you're going to allow stuff like that to be posted, you're liable.
Well, yeah, because it's people's like privacy, and this is something we're losing slowly.
Well, if I put an event, hey, come with your guns, we're gonna, and people show up with their guns, and then people get killed and something happens, I might be liable.
But let me remind you, in
But
terms of,
nowadays, nobody's liable.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
well, let me remind you, in terms of Facebook and privacy, you don't have to use it. You can use something else. You don't
And
have to
that's
give them your
exactly
stuff.
the
And
thing.
so at the end of the day, if we choose to use it, we surrender certain rights to this internet. What do we always say? Our saying about technology, my man.
Technology's not your friend.
It really isn't, guys. Get off your phone.
And so, but we utilize it. We can educate ourselves with it, have fun. So
Of course.
edutainment.
But also,
be
Well,
responsible.
We'll keep
Be
you guys posted on whatever develops on the story. Like we said earlier, everything we've talked about here is fresh and things are still coming out. So
Shit can change
yeah,
overnight.
things can change tomorrow. So as things come out, we'll report them to you. So hope you guys have a great day. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure you guys subscribe and follow us, and make sure you tell a friend.
Tell a friend.